What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and we're here on the SEC channel at the Voice of College Football, previewing each team's 2022 schedule, and Kentucky is up next. Kentucky coming off of a really strong year. Mark Stoops doing just unbelievable things at Kentucky. And before we get to that 2022 schedule, let's look back at 2021. Here was the schedule from 2021, and you can see there was a 3-game stretch right there where Kentucky lost 3 in a row: Georgia, Mississippi State, and Tennessee. But other than that, they won every single game. Schedule was pretty favorable. You had ULM, you had Chattanooga, New Mexico State, and then Louisville, at least a Power 5 team there, a rivalry game in the non-conference. Who do they play out of the West? Well, they played Mississippi State. They play them every year. And then they also played LSU, and they got a big win at home against LSU. LSU wound up finishing, I think, dead last in the West, and Mississippi State was towards the bottom. So it was a very favorable schedule in 2021, and it's going to be more of the same in 2022. Here is that schedule. Before we go game by game, let's look at who they play outside of the division, because, of course, they're going to play every team in the SEC East. This is who they play outside of the East. They'll play Miami of Ohio, Youngstown State, Northern Illinois, and Louisville, and they get Louisville at home this year. So again, very, very easy non-conference schedule. I'm not saying Louisville is going to be an easy win or anything, but you're not playing a top-tier Power 5 team, a team that, you know, is probably going to be borderline, you know, maybe 6-6, 7-5 type team. So yeah, you got a favorable schedule there in the non-conference once again. And then in the non-conference, they play Mississippi State, who they'll play every year. They'll get them at home. Don't have to deal with the Cowbells this year. And then they'll play Ole Miss on the road. So that is going to be a tough matchup there. But it's not Alabama. It's not Texas A&M. And Ole Miss is losing a lot, so it's hard to say exactly how good they're going to be. But that will be a very tough game, I think, playing them on the road. But it could be worse. Again, when you play two SEC West teams, it's not going to be easy no matter who you play. But it could be worse. You could have Alabama, you could have Texas A&M, and you know, maybe LSU. I don't know where they're going to finish this year, but that's who they will play out of the West. So they open up against Miami of Ohio on September the 3rd at home, and then it'll be Florida on the road September 10th, and that's turned into a huge game. I mean, Florida dominated this series for so long, but now Kentucky, with a couple of wins, they have definitely had Florida's number as of late. It'll be tough on the road, but Florida's a team with a lot of question marks. Kentucky has a lot coming back. That is a winnable game, and really I think that game will set the tone for the entire season. If they can win that game, they're probably going to start off 4-0, and they're going to have a chance, I think, to, you know, there's a reason why I said this could be a top 10 team this year, and a big reason why is because of this schedule, and they have a chance to really build some momentum. But I think they have to beat Florida. If this is a team that's going to finish in the top 10, top 15, they're probably going to have to win that game against Florida. But yeah, they play Youngstown State, Northern Illinois after that. That'll be the month of September. Then into the month of October, they'll play Ole Miss on the road October 1st. Again, that'll be a tough matchup there. South Carolina and Mississippi State behind that. Tough games, but winnable games. Kentucky could win those games. Again, South Carolina and Mississippi State at home, so they'll probably be favored by at least a little bit in those games. I think those are pretty much toss-up games, but winnable games for Kentucky. You never know. We'll see what happens, but they could possibly, with this schedule, start off 7-0 before going on the road to face Tennessee. That will be a very tough game, but they get a bye week before that one. So again, the schedule working out really well for Kentucky. A bye week before that road game against Tennessee. Then they'll play Missouri on the road, who figures to be towards the bottom of the East, only ahead of maybe Vanderbilt, who they'll play on November the 12th. That'll be a home game. So winnable games there against Missouri and Vanderbilt. Toughest game of the year, I think, is going to be this one on November 19th against Georgia. It is a home game, but it is still going to be really tough. But this, who knows, maybe this could be the year for Kentucky to finally beat Georgia. They get them at home late in the year. Who knows what the teams will look like at that point. And then they close things out with Louisville on November 26th. So all in all, a schedule that, you know, it's not an easy schedule when you compare all the teams in college football. But when we're just talking about the teams in the SEC, this is definitely one of the easier schedules in the conference. A pretty easy non-conference schedule. Don't have to play the top teams out of the West. So Kentucky has a chance once again to have a really good year with this schedule in 2022.